Hey, Ken Crawford here from the Reno Guns and Range team for this month's Tuesday tip. Today we're going to talk about, you can see there's a few handguns in front of me, how to fit a handgun or how to know a handgun fits you. First off, what I'm going to do, and we've got Jordan behind the cameras, I'm going to have Jordan come on up just so that everyone on the camera can see that we've got all of these guns here in an unloaded condition. So the first one up here is I'm just going to put up here so you guys can see that there's nothing in here. And there's nothing in these magazines, so I know a lot of people want to make sure, as we do, that guns are handled in a safe manner. So on this gun we're going to be here, and then there's nothing here. Here, in here. Here, and here. And then up here, and then in the magazine. Cool. So now we've kind of got our administrative things out of the way. We get a lot of customers in here that come in to shoot for various reasons. We have bullseye competition shooters that'll be coming in April with our league, starting with that. We have some other type of target shooters that'll come in as well for precision, and then we have the vast majority of people that are coming in to practice for recreational fun or for self-defense. What we're looking at is how do we know if a handgun fits you personally? So the best way to do that is to show you how I would go about seeing if a handgun fits myself, and obviously that's going to tie a bit into grip. So we're just going to kind of go down the row here and we're going to talk about what we mean by a handgun fitting. So for that one, what we're looking at is to make sure that we can reach all of the buttons and levers and controls that we need to on our handgun with the hand that is what we call our strong hand or our firing hand. So if we can't reach all of those buttons, levers, and controls, then we know right out of the gate that we're going to have to do some type of manipulation in order to make the gun do what we wanted it to do. And that would just take a bit more energy. So to start off, we're just going to go down through here and we're going to see if I can reach all of the buttons, levers, and controls. I'm right-handed, so we're just going to see if I can do that with my right hand. So we're going to start over here. This is an HK VP9. I'm going to kind of flip it around for you guys. So this has what's called a paddle mag release, and I'll get Jordan to kind of zoom in here for you. And you can see that that is what would release the magazine. So we'll see if we get there. So we're going to get the gun set up and see. So on this side we can see that that's my trigger finger somewhere other than the trigger. But that I could, if I need be, I can reach that trigger without changing anything of my hand. So that's a good check. On the other side, I want to see if I can make this magazine drop freely just using this hand. So if I go like this, we'll see that I can't really do that with my firing hand without trying to manipulate the fingers on the other side of the gun as well. So I don't really have that dexterity with this gun. Moving down to, this is a Glock 19. We're going to do the same thing. So this is we're looking at the grip here. I am able to reach the trigger, no problem. And then if I come out through here, I can see that I can release the magazine without changing anything on my grip. So with this gun, I would say that this gun fits my hand. Let's back up in here for us. Moving down the line here, this is a Smith & Wesson M&P. This is their Pro Series. Again, we're going to make sure that, looking like this, that I can go ahead and reach the trigger with my trigger finger, not a problem. And then on the other side, see if I can reach that magazine release, and I reached it just fine. So we're going to go ahead and put this. So I'd say right out of the box, these two guns would fit me. Moving down to some of the littler guns, we have, this is called the Glock 43. So again, I'm able to get the fingers wrapped around the bottom, trigger finger somewhere other than the trigger. The thumb, as you can see, if you guys have noticed it, I'm flagging it high on the other side. So the trigger finger can reach the trigger if need be. And then on the other side, in order to reach the magazine release, my thumb's a bit long on this gun, so I need to break it back in order to access it. So it kind of, for me, causes a bit of hang up there. So this gun, it wouldn't be the best fitting gun for me. Moving over to the Springfield XDS, we'll see here again, good grip around the gun, trigger finger up here, trigger finger reaches no problem. And then when we come back on the other side, we'll see if I reach down, the magazine, I'm able to do that, and then what's catching me is the actual sleeve on the bottom. That's probably a video for another day about these sleeves, but the gun itself fits me just fine. So when we look at this and we say, hey, how do I know that the handgun fits me? That's the easiest and quickest way to go about doing it, is being able to grab that gun in a good firing grip. So like I told you at the beginning, grip has to do with fit. So when we talk about grabbing a gun with a good firing grip, the easiest way to do that is to just make a finger gun with your hand, just like this. The barrel on our finger gun is straight, and then we're just going to go around, and Jordan's going to follow me here. I'm going to come down to this M&P, I keep my finger straight, and then I just slide it around, right? So we can see that a good little tip here is if the second knuckle of our hand is at or in the center of that trigger guard, that's a really good idea that the gun fits as well. The thumb flag's high. We know that if we look through this way, that we can see that my trigger finger will reach if need be. And up here, what I can do is I can just fill this void in with this hand, just like this. The fingers are going to wrap around and the thumbs are going to go forward. And if I reach the gun up and go around, you're able to see that there's no gaps around the gun. And that's one of the things that we're really looking for. We really want to make sure, and I'm going to kind of come around this way for you guys that you can see, is that when looking down, hopefully this works out for you guys, you'll see that the slide is right in line with my arm. What's important about that, and I'll kind of circle back around here, is that in order for a semi-automatic pistol to work, when the round is fired, the slide needs to come back. It ejects the round, strips the next one, and puts it in. Well, if we can have that going right over the top of us here, that's helping us work the gun. That's how we know that the gun fits. Oftentimes what we see with shooters with a gun that doesn't fit is this right here will be compromised. If a shooter can't reach the trigger, they're going to cheat their arm around, and then it looks something like this. I'm exaggerating a bit so that you guys can see, but the gun comes over the knuckle, or a bigger hand will go over the other knuckle this way. Hopefully that's coming through. We try to take brand loyalty out of the equation. There are definitely guns that we recommend. If you come in and ask our instructors, we'll ask first and foremost, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? You know, is it for, because there are different guns for different contexts. If you're dead set on one of these guns, there are some things that the manufacturers themselves have done to help make it easier to fit your hand, because the manufacturers have learned that it's not one size fits all. So back here we're just going to kind of see the HK VP9 has a piece in the back right here. There's a little pin that you can drift out, and there's different sizes here. So the ones that come from the manufacturer are size medium. So the smaller size is going to push your hand forward. The larger size is going to pull your hand back. The other thing that the HK has is it actually has side panels on theirs, so it can make the frame of the gun wider, and that'll help for people that have larger hands, or it can make it narrower for people that have smaller hands. So there are a lot of things that you can do besides just getting the gun straight out of the box. So the HK, like I said, has those pins that you drift. The Glock 19 that we talked about earlier, it comes, so the way that this is a Gen 4, the way that it comes from the factory, this is its smallest size. The way that it would go from here is for people that had larger hands, they would go ahead and add on these. These are called the back straps, adjustable back straps, which would be adjusting a person's hand this way. We're going to kind of put these, but both of these require just a little pin punch, and you drift that out and you're able to change it. Now the M&P over here has the back straps as well, or the palm swells. It's on the back strap of the gun, but it actually goes around. They're kind of easier to change, so I'm going to show you on this gun how that would happen. So this just kind of rotates around here, and then it peels out. Easiest way, and I'm going to probably grab it, is to have the magazine that I dropped on the floor, got it anyway, to come out for the pin, and then you'll see that this comes out here. I'm going to come up to the camera so that you guys can see that this is the one that comes with the gun. I don't know how good the focus is going to be in here, but it's a size medium, kind of looking in here, and then you'll see that there's a small, I'll kind of open it up here, right here, a small, and then a large. These can dramatically change your ability to manage the gun simply by being able to fit it. So the medium that was on the gun, I'll just kind of slide these in here, you can see how different the large would look with my hand. Now I can barely reach that magazine release before, but that might be great for someone with larger hands. Now conversely, I can slide into here, and this is the small one, and now my thumb is almost going past it again. So the manufacturers have really stepped up to help the consumers with fitting a gun. What's really important to understand when you're coming in, especially if you haven't made the decision to buy the gun, is to talk to someone and make sure that the gun fits you. You wouldn't want to run a mile in shoes that are too small. You wouldn't run a mile in shoes that are too big if you didn't have to. So again, at least with our facility, I know that you can come in and all of these guns that we have here are available to rent. So that's kind of our tip for Tuesday. I don't know, I'm going to ask Jordan if anyone's got any questions. Typically in the middle of the day we don't see a lot of this stuff. If you're watching this later, go ahead and leave a comment and we'll get back to you. If you guys have any other questions, or even, hey, what you would like to see from us in the future in terms of like what kind of tips or what kind of things you're struggling with, just reach out and let us know. Again, this is Ken from the Reno Guns and Range team. You can see us on our website, which is www.renoguns.com. Check out our training page, which we have a great introduction to handguns class that goes over all the different types of handguns and how to fit them for you. All right, guys, take care.